Welcome, y'all. I'm so glad to be with you. And I've been thinking a lot about sacred space and shrine keeping, which we're going to dive into this week. So, the invitation as we start is to just close your eyes if that feels good for you, or set your gaze on a point in front of you that's steady. And just begin to breathe deeply as feels good in your body today. Just tuning into where you are beginning in your practice today without judgment or expectation. There's an invitation to gently arrive here. And you might just notice how much of you feels present as you offer that initial invitation to arrive. And as you're resting and noticing here, I'll ring a special bell. And if you can, just notice if any parts of you shift in response to hearing it. For me, when I hear a sacred sound or instrument used like that, it's almost like whatever has been lying dormant in my system starts to get lifted up, right? Like something so gently starts to kind of elevate and bring my attention to the surface in this sweet and sort of tingling way. And everyone has their own response to different ritual tools, right? But just notice in your system what it's like to hear a sound that calls you in. And maybe you can recall a particular word or a sound that helps to call you in, right? Like each time when we start practice, I say, I'm going to start with the sound of Om. But if there's something that calls you in and up, then may it be so, right? Let that be your shrine keeping invitation. Because the idea of the shrine keeper is that they and us, because it is an archetype that deeply exists inside of us, right? In addition to someone standing at the door and welcoming us in, which is so amazing when there's sort of this external representation of an impulse that does live within, which is the impulse to meet sacredness. It's not like a first date, right? Where like somebody comes and you're like, all right, let's see what you've got. And there's like, that like appropriate hesitancy of like, is this person going to understand my magic? Oh my God, the dates I could tell you about, right? And when people don't understand your magic, that like you're very clear about how like, I'm not walking through that door, right? It's a different kind of thing. This is definitely a different sort of date. This is a date with an energy or a spirit that you already know can see your magic. And so there's a certain kind of reciprocity and openness that we meet these invitations with. Something is beckoning us in to sacred practice and ritual, into our own arrival of holiness and attention, which is really so holy, the art of being present. And we allow ourselves to be moved, invited in. And sometimes we need help to cross a threshold. Arguably, I'd say kind of most of the time. We need some support, even if it's just the air that rises up to help usher us out of even a time that we've like really not liked. Like I think of the end of grad school. I was very ready to go, right? And I still needed some some spiritual support as I stepped through that threshold into a different space. A lot of what threshold tending is about is helping people to realize that Shiva has actually done his work and that the things that they needed on that one side of the door have actually already been shed. But sometimes we plant our feet and we say, but no, there's more to do on this side. And we get really stuck when in fact we're being beckoned to the other side because we're ready. And so a sound, a smell, a taste, a touch, a feeling can be one of the many invitations that we receive to help us cross a threshold. A doula, right, is a tender of thresholds. There are birth doulas, there are death doulas. I worked as an abortion doula for a long time. Like, to be a doula is to be a tender of the portal. And there are all kinds of portals in our world. There are the doorways in our homes. There are the doorways in temples, not so different. There are the doorways in our body, the openings in our body, nose, eyes, mouth, bum. They're all portals, right? They open, they close, they let things out, they let things in, depending on what is right, right? And we have to be kind of our own shrine keepers of our bodies as we decide what food, what energy, what love, what information we take in. And also the glorious thing about a portal keeper or a shrine keeper is like they know how to close the door too. They know how to say that energy is not actually what is needed here. Or, please, I welcome you into this space, but could you leave those shoes outside? Right? It's like what they're saying is you are welcome. The Mishigas can stay out here and you can pick it back up when you come back, right? I think that's really important. That's something that we do in yoga studios too, of like inviting people in any sacred space. Taking off shoes is a powerful practice of shrine keeping. What does it say? It says you yourself are holy, and also you don't have to carry all the armor that you walk around the world with in this sacred space. You can actually take it off. And everybody has met the person who doesn't want to take their shoes off, right? And I've seen people get frustrated with that person. I've seen people get exhausted with that person. But I think what it really is that person is so uncomfortable with taking the armor off and coming into this place, the pool of receptivity. And no shit, that's hard work. So the shrine keeper also is our most compassionate part that understands, oh, that person that doesn't feel comfortable taking their shoes off or taking their guard down actually is seeking enough safety to be able to perceive that they can. And sometimes that takes a lot of time or energy or prayer, whatever it is, right? That they do it in their own timing. The shrine keeper works with the element of water. And why? One, because water acts as a mirror for us, and mirrors are everywhere in these sacred texts about shrine keeping, about portals to the divine, and no coincidence, portals to ourself, right? That we see ourselves clearly, we clean off the mirror, and in doing so, we also see God. We also see our own power when we can see ourselves clearly and unfiltered. And sometimes in order to see or feel or experience ourselves unfiltered, we've got to wash some shit off, right? Old versions of ourselves, old things that people have told us about ourselves and what we can and cannot do. The shape of trauma and hurt that has contained or scrunched our body in one particular way. We sort of see ourselves clearly so that we can see again, that we can re-inhabit our most expansive form. And mirrors and water are a portal for that. It's also like, have you ever walked around on the beach and felt like, oof, my body is like, it's hard. Like walking in the sand is heavy and feet are hard and bodies are hard to stack. And then you get into the ocean and suddenly the float, it's like I can move and be carried by spirit, by Mother Ocean, and I don't have to work so hard. This is the magic of the cleansing power of water. Is it's not that we were carrying something that was wrong that we needed to get rid of. It's that life is heavy and we deserve all the buoyancy and the sacredness and the support that we can get to help us fly. And this is the job of the Shrinekeeper, is to invite us into more ease, more play, more curiosity. And how do we do that? By getting comfortable. Sometimes it's uncomfortable, the process of getting comfortable though, you know? Sometimes it's uncomfortable to take the shoes off and to step through the door. But in the end, you're being beckoned to this place where there is warmth, there is light, the eternal flame which existed forever in, sort of the sacred temple of the Jewish faith and all faiths really. That temple was destroyed over and over again in historic stories, right? So the candle at home became the eternal flame. And the Torahs, or the sort of like scrolls of sacred word, take it or leave it, were destroyed again and again as temples were destroyed. And so the table at home became the ark where Torahs are held. And the keepers of the home, became the keepers of the sacred, became the keepers of the temple. And we know this. We know that tending to home space, that tending to hearth, that tending to the people that we love and the tchotchkes that we love, that we care about, and the gifts of the earth, the rocks, the stones, the bits of water. All water is a gift from the earth, right? The pieces of sand in the bottom of your suitcase. All of these are these sacred little vestiges of the holy. And we could walk through the world and just say, oh, there's a stick, oh, there's a leaf. So what makes it holy is that we believe it to be so and we imbue it with meaning through repeated practice. Like the Wailing Wall was just a wall, but people kept going to it and praying and putting these notes in the cracks. And eventually, people are like, oh, this really holy place. But it hasn't actually necessarily changed its elemental makeup. What's changed is the intention and care behind the people who have kept the shrine of it. And so same with our body. It's like we might, up until today, in this moment, have oriented to our body as just a body that we are stuck in and we have to manage. But what if we tended to it like the temple? What if we came to it in every crack, every little place where there was absence or numbness or a lack of a felt sense, we slid a tiny little note in? What prayer would we write? And over the years, as we slide the notes into all of our cracks, is there openings, portals, doorways? Is there a way that we allow it to be the holy place that it was once meant to be before we learned something different? These are just a few of the millions of invitations of the Shrinekeeper. We'll get into more next week. We'll make a sacred space together. But for now, I'll invite you to bring your hands together in front of your heart and to notice what calls you in today, what beckons you into the door of practice and the door of letting yourself and your own space be holy. And I'll start with the sound of Om, whatever sound or smell or touch feels right to you. Deep breath in. And when you're ready, we'll start in mountain pose at the top of the mat. Standing tall. Feet rooted on the earth. Crown of the head lifting skyward. And just notice where the doorways are in your system today. You might feel a doorway at the front of the pelvis, at the front of the heart, at the throat, or at the mouth. Just notice where it feels like there's an opening for light to shine in and light to shine out. And breathe deeply into that space. And when you're ready, reach your arms up. Feel that portal reach up and open too from wherever it is. And exhale, fold forward, hinge from your hips. You're just praying at the doorway here. Halfway lift, deep breath in. Exhale, fold back in, bowing to the earth. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing, reach tall. Hands to your heart, exhale. So this beginning part of the sun salutation, I think of as the Shrinekeeper's opening to our practice. We are asking for the door to be opened by lifting up to the sun and reaching down to the earth. So feel into that if you can. Inhale, reach your arms. Exhale, fold forward. We offer ourselves as we come to this portal. Halfway lift, deep breath in. Here I still am, heart open. Exhale, fold, still humble, still learning. Inhale, rise all the way up, finding strength as we start to open the door. And exhale, hands to heart. I remember why I'm here. Inhale, reach your arms up. One more time, exhale, melt forward, find your support. Inhale, halfway lift, little strength, little softness. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, all the way up to standing. A little more expanded every time. Exhale, hands to your heart. Swim your hands to your low back. Zip your fingers together. Separate your feet a little bit more. Inhale, peel open your chest. Peel open your heart. Exhale, bend your knees a lot. Fold forward. Lift your hands up and over. Release your hands down. Right hand to your block or to the earth. Stretch your legs. Halfway lift in your spine, and then lift your left arm up towards the sky. Twisting open. Feel your legs strong on the earth so your upper body can open here. Exhale to release, left hand down. Inhale, peel your right arm up towards the sky. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway lift, deep breath in. Step back to high plank. So same thing as Tadasana, same as mountain pose, but you're horizontal here. So heart open, belly open, throat open, long spine. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, find the earth, lower down in whatever way feels good. Feel the earth support, and from that, open your heart, cobra pose. Exhale to lower back down twice more in your own timing. The earth helps you lift up. Inhale. Exhale. One more time, deep breath in. Exhale to lower. Stretch back to tabletop. Find hands and knees, and then tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Stretch your right leg up and back into the sky. Big breath in. Exhale, step your right foot forward. Drop your left knee to the earth. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Open the door, cactus your elbows, peel your chest open. Inhale, reach your arms tall. Exhale, hands to the floor, step back, high plank. Deep inhale. Exhale, find the earth your way. Inhale, open front body, cobra pose. Exhale, stretch back, downward facing dog. Inhale, stretch your left leg up and back. Exhale, left foot forward, right knee down, low lunge. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Cactus your elbows, exhale. Inhale, arms stretch up. Exhale, hands to the floor, step to the top of the mat this time. Halfway lift, deep breath. Exhale, fold. Chair pose. Let your seat drop back. Stretch your arms up. Cactus your elbows. Sink a little bit deeper here. Stand tall. Arms up. Right knee in towards your chest. Sweep it back. Warrior three. Hands to heart. Step all the way back to warrior one. Heel to the earth. Inhale. Stretch your arms up. Cactus your elbows. Portal of the heart opens here. Inhale, stretch your arms tall. Exhale, warrior two, open out to the side. So in warrior two, the portal of the hips opens, right? So we start to see these poses as invitations into the shrine of the body. In each position, there are places to stabilize in feet and hands and earth, so that we feel supported in our opening and are stepping through the threshold we're being invited into. Palms up, exalted warrior when you're ready. From the earth support, we can open through the upper body. Take a deep breath in. Full breath out. Big inhale here. Exhale, windmill to the earth. Step onto your left foot. Standing splits, right toes up towards the sky. Right foot meets the left, top of the mat. Halfway lift, deep breath. Exhale, fold forward. Chair pose, sit back. Arms extend up. Cactus your elbows, sink a little deeper. Root into your right foot. Inhale, come to standing. Arms up, left knee in. Exhale, warrior three. Left heel reaches back. Crown of your head reaches forward. When you're ready, step all the way back to warrior one. Arms up, inhale. Peel your heart open. Cactus arms. Inhale, lift. Exhale, warrior two. Open it out to the side. Palms to the sky. Exalted warrior. Find the ease in it if you can. Where can you surrender into being carried into opening as opposed to forcing your way into the door? You're being invited in. Big breath. Exhale, let your breath take you. Windmill, standing split. Step onto your front foot. You're in a playful dance with the elements around you and the breath around you. So you're not resisting the current, you're going with. And this is part of the Shrinekeeper's invitation. They're inviting you in. So you're working with the elements and the magic of the space that invites you to go deeper. Good, step your left foot all the way to the back of the mat, step your right foot back, downward facing dog. Walk the inner edges of your feet together. Come forward to high plank. Long line of energy from crown of the head out through your heels. Drop your heels to the right. Side plank, lift your left arm up. Float your left ankle up. Flex your toes. Bend your left knee. Squeeze it in towards your left armpit. And then step your left foot forward. Warrior two, windmill open. Moving with the breath, not against it. Exalted warrior, inhale, lift up. Exhale, half moon, launch onto your front foot. Take your time here, find some support under your left hand if that feels good. You could bend your right knee, reach back, right hand to right foot. Worst case, what just happened to me happens, which is your foot comes down. And then you find your way back into the trunk of your left leg rooting and expand from there. Deep, full breaths. just give you more information about where you are and the natural stepping through that's happening that we can't rush. Release your foot, stretch it out, half moon, all the way up to standing. Hug your right knee in. Stretch your right heel forward, lift your arms up towards the sky. Soft shoulders. Good. Standing split, sweep it all the way back. Skandasana to the back of the mat, right bum cheek to your right heel. Flex your left toes. Good. You could walk your hands out in front of you, sort of like down dog arms here. You could keep your hands close. Pivot around to the back of the mat, pyramid pose, both legs straight, little halfway lift, and then fold over your right shin. So each step along the journey, we receive the invitation to come in to the space of prayer and sacredness. And then we let ourselves find ease there as much as we can. Hands plant on the earth, bend your front leg, sweep your right leg up and back. Bend your knees, stack your hips, flip your dog, take it over. Walk the feet in so your heels are supported. Feel the earth underneath you. Good, drop your tush to the earth, boat pose. Stretch your arms, stretch your legs, give yourself a little wiggle. So sometimes we're swimming, right? And there's a little bit of sustainment work as we're traversing a threshold. Bring the soles of your feet together, let your knees come out wide. Reach your arms out and forward, keep breathing. Where is there ease available, even inside of transition? Take a big inhale. Exhale, lie all the way back. Squeeze your knees into your chest. Give yourself a big exhale. Good. Knees in some circles to the right and circles to the left. Plant your feet on the earth for one bridge pose if that feels good. Walk the feet in, hands by your sides, inhaling to lift up just as much as feels right to you. A place where you're engaged but can still find some softness. Slow, deep breaths. Lower your back all the way down to the floor. Let your feet come wide, let your knees fall in to touch each other. And just feel your lower back soften and widen down into the earth. Notice those portal spaces in your body. What do they feel like here? Can you fill them with breath and presence? And not demand that they be more open than they are. Just notice and appreciate. And when you're ready, walk your feet back into center. Hug your knees into your chest. Hold the back of your thighs. Start to rock forward and back. You're building a little momentum up to chair pose. Plant your feet, stretch your arms up. You could stay here or come down to crow pose, hands to the earth. Knees hug up onto the back of your arms. And your toes might lift a little bit. We'll meet back in downward facing dog, so take your time, play as you like. And then step or hop back when you're ready. And let out a big exhale. Walk the inner edges of your feet together at the back of the mat. Feel your body long and strong here, like a tree. Come forward, high plank. Heels to the left for side plank. Good. Lift your right ankle up. Flex your toes. Take your time here. Bend your knees. Squeeze it up towards your side body. And when you're ready, step your right foot forward. Seal your back heel down. Warrior two. Feel the earth inviting your tailbone closer. Right? You're being drawn into the portal of the earth, and the portal of your pelvic floor feels connected. Right? Aligned from your tail down. Flip your palms. Exalted warrior, lift up. Exhale to half moon. Press off your back foot. Launch. Take your time. Right hand comes a little to the right so that your heart has space to open up. And space to play here. You might take a bind with your top foot. You might float your bottom hand away from the earth. You're not doing this by yourself. You're collaborating with the air around you and the earth underneath you. So just feel yourself in relationship. Release the bind when you like. Skandasana to the back when you're ready. Left bum cheek to your left heel. Flex your right toes. You could walk your hands out in front of you if that feels right. Slowly press into your hands, pivot around to the back of the mat, pyramid pose, little halfway lift, and fold over your left leg. Sometimes the journey to get to the ease of the place where we pray, the place where we surrender, the place where we ask for help, is treacherous. It's long, it's harrowing. So we've got to find places to rest. Pyramid pose is one of those shapes for me. And a presencing practice allows us to realize when we actually have found our way into a place where we can release. Because sometimes we've been holding tight for so long that it's hard for us to perceive when we're actually arrived in the nest that we've been seeking. Plant your hands on the earth, bend your left knee, and sweep it up and back. Bend your knees, stack your hips, flip, heels under the knees, left arm unfurls. Good, big breath in, drop your tush down to the earth, swing your legs wide and open. You can turn to the side. Yeah. We're gonna twist to the right. So right hand outside your right thigh. Inhale, reach your left arm up. As you do this, feel the inner left seam of your left leg. The inner seam of your left leg extending out. And we're gonna fold over to the right. Feel your pelvis in relationship with the earth here. Rise up when you're ready. We'll twist to the left. Left hand behind you. Inhale, reach your right arm up. Exhale, fold forward. Good. Rise up through center. Bring your hands out in front of you. You might visualize a pool of clear water here as you lengthen your spine and let it invite you in. You could dip your hands in the pool. You could fold in, reach your arms out. Maybe even see your reflection here. You might be able to hear the faint rhythm of a drum beat, of a dance rhythm from the Shrinekeepers at the edge of the doorway, inviting you closer to the earth and closer to yourself. And as we pay more attention, the sound gets louder and more resonant inside the body. In many ways, we merge with the sound, with the invitation. And just play here for a moment with what it's like to, if it feels safe and okay, to consciously, gently open the portal between your legs, to let your inner thighs separate gently here, and let the center of you, right, your groin here, your root open down into the earth. And just notice what it's like to be met by the earth herself. And then let's just play around with what it's like to close that door, to draw the inner thighs energetically towards each other, to close the gates there right at the root of the pelvis. Feel how that gives you a sense of where your perimeter is. Maybe it gives you a sense of a long spine as you find Mula Bandha, that root lock. And then one more time, just opening the portal down into the earth. You might rock your hips a little bit forward. And then rocking the hips just gently back as you close the gates and feel the support and the security of that. Both actions are equally valuable, and practicing both is really nourishing so that we know that we can do both when we need. When you're ready, rise up, swing your hands around to the right, plant your right hand back behind you. You're going to press into both feet and press your hips forward. Door opens at the pelvis, and then drop your tush. Feel the door close there. Other side, left hand back behind you. Inhale, door opens. Exhale, soften to the earth. Door closes. You're in control. One more time each side. Right hand back. Hips reach forward. I open as much as feels right for me. And then I find my way back into myself. Yeah, left hand back. Inhale, in relationship with the earth. Open. Exhale. Release down. Find the root lock. Yeah, good. Let your hands help you. Bend your knees. Swing your legs around to the front of the mat. Lie all the way onto your back. Walk your feet in again. This time bridge pose or wheel pose if you feel like it. Wheel actually has a lot to do with the opening of the hip flexors, and we've played with that some. So you can experiment, hands by your ears. Exhale all of your breath out. And then on your inhale, find the earth, find the invitation of support, and let that be what takes you through. So interesting that we can both be the archway, right? We can be the door itself in this shape, and we can also be walking through the door. Good, take your time. You know your own rhythm. Release when you're ready. Make some figure eights with your wrists. Hug your knees into your chest. Rock a little side to side. Good, y'all. Hold the back of your thighs. Rock forward and back a couple times. We're going to rock up to chair pose when you're ready. Stretch your arms up. Forward fold. Exhale. Halfway lift. Deep breath. Step back. High plank. Inhale here. Lower to the earth. Exhale. Heart open. Deep breath in. Cobra or up dog. Stretch back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep your right leg up and back into the sky. Exhale, step your right foot forward, high lunge. Lift your gaze, lift your arms. Bring your hands to your heart, take a big breath in. Twist to the right, left elbow or left hand outside your left knee. You can press your palms together in prayer if that feels good. If you want more space for your belly, bump your left hand out to the left a little bit. Give yourself a wider range. Good, make your back heel springy. We're gonna step forward to chair pose. Feet together, you could bloom your arms open if that feels right. Good, find chair at center, lift up. All the way to standing, hands to heart. Step onto your left foot, bend your right knee back behind you. Squeeze your heel into your bum cheek. You could stay right here, or you could find the invitation of heart reaching forward, shin reaching back, and explore your variation of dancer's pose. Dancer's pose comes from the legend of Shiva, which is that he's invited to walk through a portal. It happens to also be a portal of like a fiery gateway, so it's not maybe the most inviting and comfortable thing, but he decides to dance through because he is honoring, I think, that there is fear there. And he is celebrating the fear as proof of aliveness and not a signal that he shouldn't go through the fires of transformation. Release your foot when you're ready. Shake it out. Step to the top of the mat. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, melt forward. Let it go. Halfway lift, deep breath. Down dog or chaturanga if you want to flow through. Take your time. Big breath in through your nose. Stick out your tongue, let it go. Exhale. Inhale, stretch your left leg up and back. Exhale, step your left foot forward, high lunge. There's no rush to get there. The earth is inviting you in your slow unfolding. Bring your hands to your heart. Find stability in your back leg strong. Take a big inhale. And exhale through the door, twisting to the left. And then at some point, the parts of us that haven't been sure about stepping through the portal, we invite in. So that back heel, make it springy, and it's going to come to meet us through the doorway. Right foot meets the left. If you like, arms can open, chair twist. Good, find center, chair pose. Soften your jaw. Inhale all the way up to standing. Hands to your heart. Dancer's pose, step onto your right foot, bend your left knee. Reach back with your left hand. Right hand can start at your heart or right arm up. And then find the horizontal. As your right arm reaches forward, left shin reaches back. If you're reaching too far forward with the right hand, let the right thumb come to meet your heart. The opening starts right here from your center. You don't have to be any farther along. release it when you're ready. Shake it out. Top of the mat, reach your arms up. Feel the earth, see the sky here. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway lift, deep breath. Downward facing dog. Sweep your right leg up and back into the sky. Bring your right shin forward. Top of the mat. Lifted pigeon, slide your hands back. Squeeze your inner thighs towards each other. Feel that Mula Bandha, that root lock, come to lift and support you from beneath. And then as you're ready, we'll soften towards the earth, and you can play with keeping that root lock steady or letting the gates open if it feels right, and letting the earth receive the magic of your pelvis, of your tailbone, of your womb space, as it gently starts to soften towards the invitation of the earth. I felt curious and excited as I learned about the Shrinekeeper, which is already an archetype that you all know I deeply identify with, as I love to create and invite people into sacred space, and I know a lot of you do too. But I felt so curious about how sex and sexuality and sensuality kept being woven into the lore around this, and how it was connected. And I think as I've been doing my own inquiry about it, what I'm noticing is that eroticism, as Esther Perel gifts us with the definition, is about aliveness, affirming that we are indeed alive and awake on this earth and present to the blessings that are around us. And I think that tuning into that eroticism, or even utilizing the capacity for eroticism and awakening to the things that make us feel alive and present with charge, with energy, as opposed to without charge, unanimated, right, is one, a very powerful catalyst for change, because it is so powerful and it is so compelling to feel. And two, because when we are in right relationship to it, and when we are in right relationship to our surroundings, meaning our surroundings support our safety and support our unfolding, and we feel held, this is a key to the inner depths of us. What we feel, how we breathe, how we sweat, how we move our bodies, how we interact with the sacredness of our own flesh. Not as something to transcend to get to the truth of us, but actually as the temple that holds the truth of us. So not a temple that we're trying to remove or unawaken to, but actually a temple that we're trying to more and more fully arrive in. And that when sexuality, when eroticism is at its best, meaning it's safe, it's supported, it's consensual, and that can mean like the engagement of the idea of aliveness with just yourself or with other creatures and beings or other elements of the earth, that it allows us to feel that every inch of us is sacred. That a touch or a sensation or an invitation in every single part of our body, our eyelash and our big toenail, is an invitation into relationship with the divine. And what an amazing thing, especially for those of us that learned about sex and sexuality as sort of a path away from God, right? Like the kind of sin-based teachings. What an amazing invitation of the Shrinekeepers, who deeply embodied sensuality and eroticism in their own prayer and in their invitations to others to come into the temple. What a beautiful message, that to get close to our own desire and our own feeling of aliveness brings us into relationship with what is magical and sacred and what makes life worth living. When you're ready, you can start to walk your hands back in, drop onto your right hip, and swing your left leg around to stack shins, double pigeon. One of my favorite things about the teachings of a lot of the Shrinekeeper are that the reason why we know they exist is because, like, Deuteronomy and other, biblical books, like, ban all of these practices. And I love this idea. How do we know that these magical things happen? Because the old grumpy books tell us don't do that. And generally, it is my way, and perhaps your way, if that feels right for you, to hear the things that people in power say don't do, and to be curious about whether that actually in some ways, sometimes, is a guidebook for what is most radical and subversive and most needed in this world. Of course, there are exceptions to that, right? But I think it's really interesting to think about that a lot of these teachings around the Shrinekeeper, around sexuality at the gate to the temple or the home, if the home is the temple, around the altars that are made in with forests, with trees, with stones, with sacred objects around nature, right? Not things that we buy in a store, but things that we find and uncover. That the Deuteronomy teachings said, like, all of these places must be destroyed. We must not go to them to pray. And to me, that's literally them saying, like, if you really want to plug in, if you really want to find the juice of sacredness unscathed by the hand of power and control, then go to the temples of the woods. Then go to the temples that the forest fairies create. And have you ever been to a place in the woods that feels like it was made sacred before you arrived? Maybe by another person, they've stacked rocks in a particular way, or they've made a clearing, or maybe by something that is not human. There are all of these amazing rock formations and tree formations and mushroom formations that occur naturally without the hand of human. But nonetheless, when I encounter them, I feel immediately an invitation to get closer. And what is that? How do we know when something is inviting us in? What's the feeling that we get? This is the prophetess talking through us. How do we trust that feeling? I am meant to be here. I am invited here. Good, y'all. When you're ready, you can gently bring your hands back behind you, feet out in front, and just windshield wiper your knees side to side. Good, we'll swing the legs around and back, step back to tabletop position, step back to downward facing dog and wiggle it out. Anything that feels right in your system here. Left leg sweeps up and back, and left shin comes forward for half pigeon. Take a little time to take the lifted variation. Walk your hands in. Prop up onto your hands. So left shin is forward. I'm hugging my left hip back. I'm hugging my right knee forward, lifting through the pelvic floor. Feel the lock at the base of the pelvis, and then you can decide to keep that or soften it. Let the earth kind of take over your protection and let yourself yield towards the ground. slow, deep breaths here. Sometimes when we arrive, we know instantly that we are in a holy place where we are safe. Sometimes it takes us some time, right? So don't sort of like demand of your system, like release, surrender, right? Maybe instead we offer ourselves the conditions where surrender is okay, where we are safe and supported, and then we allow our system and our own senses to invite us in when we're ready. Something that I really enjoyed as I was learning more about the Shrinekeeper is something that I've actually started doing, but was sweet to see written down, which is this idea of bringing bringing a kit of ritual tools with you at all times. And it's something that I've felt drawn to do for the past several years, was sort of have a pouch of like matches and incense and this special little, I'll show her to you as you're stretching, this special little Durga statue that's not made of brass like my other ones because I carry her, right? And Durga is this amazing, fierce mama goddess that protects us and invites us in. And this special particular crystal and the bell that you heard at the beginning. And like how powerful it is, both inside and outside, like in my Mary Poppins purse, to be carrying the tools that we need so that when there is a moment, we are ready. This is part of the job of the Shrinekeeper. Your favorite Mary Poppins friend, and we all have one, is part of the Shrinekeeper. Because when you need Scotch tape, they have it in their bag, right? And appropriately also, when you need spiritual nourishment, they have that in their bag too, right? And not just the nourishment, but the tools to create the conditions. Just like I just said, it's like we can't make safety happen. We can't make holiness happen. What we can do is create the conditions to invite ourselves into relationship with the moment as it is, and notice if there is sacredness to wake up to there, or holiness to wake up to. Whenever you're ready, you can sweep your back leg around and set up for double pigeon. So next week, I'll invite you to bring a few of your favorite special items, and we'll work together to make a little altar at the beginning of practice. But just this week, I just want you to notice as you're resting in double pigeon, are there things around you in your space, in your body space, and also in your physical space? Are there things that have come with you for years, for decades, that accompany you on special journeys that you take? Things that you remember, right? Things that remind you that you can create the kind of container for yourself, and maybe for others if that's your journey, where depth and prayer can be accessed. And these are all of the ways that the Shrinekeeper lives inside of you, and that you already actually know how to be that when you need to be. Just breathing deeply into your sides, both side bodies, and notice if the leg on top, there's a little bit of shortening in that side body. And can you just notice and breathe deeply and feel into what is present in this moment and how it's holy. And feel how you are beckoned by the earth as its own shrine keeper into gravity, into being supported. It's not like she sent you, like a invitation with an RSVP. It's not like a cognitive invitation, right? It's an embodied invitation. It comes through the elements of the earth into your body. So where do you feel gravity? Gravity is our deepest invitation into presence. And when you're ready, you can gently unwrap your legs, shake them out in front of you, wiggle them. And we'll take one final forward fold. So separate your sits bones just a little bit. Lengthen your spine to get deep breath in. Exhale, fold forward. The earth beckons your legs beckons your heart. Inhale to slowly rise up. Plant your hands behind you, fingertips face in. Bend your knees. Reverse tabletop. Feel length through your spine. Take a big breath in. Exhale, slowly release. Shake it out. Lie all the way onto your back. And you can set up for shoulder stand if you like. A block under your low back, legs up towards the sky. Or any other shapes on your back, a twist or a happy baby pose. Just take the next 2 to 3 minutes to do any final movements that feel right for your system. Letting gravity and the earth invite you into the spaces that are calling for attention and support. Hugging and touching and holding your body as a sacred space itself. Notice if any other messages come through as you make contact with your body. And can you just pour warm honey of compassion and care over any criticism or anything else that shows up? We don't have to ask it to leave. We're just going to offer it some sweetness and tenderness. Just like the Shrinekeepers who stand at the door with sweet cakes and bread. They just offer an invitation of another energy. You don't have to leave everything behind. You're just also adding in some comfort and care. Take as much time as you like with these final movements. If you've twisted to one side, give yourself the space to twist to the other. ready, we'll set up for the spirit journey with the Shrinekeeper. So you could come into Shavasana or some other shape that feels good to hold, a seated meditation, or legs up the wall, or a supported heart opener on your back. But letting yourself get as comfy as you can. And again, just notice the spaces that your breath is filling. What feels alive here? What feels warm? And if it feels right, you can let your eyes close. If not, just letting the edges of the eyes soften a little bit. Let yourself visualize a sacred place before you. It may be a temple, a tree, an altar on a mountaintop, or anything else you imagine. This is the shrine you have been called to serve. Notice the shape, the season, the surroundings of the shrine. When you're ready, approach the shrine. A washing basin is before you. You bend down to wash your face, your hands, your feet. The washing basin, as you look closer, is lined with mirrors. You see yourself reflected as you wash. What do you see? How does it feel to look? A spirit comes to greet you, perhaps a priestess, perhaps an ancestor. They have brought you the garments of the high priestess of this place. There are a number of garments, each one sacred. You get to choose the garments that feel right for you and on you. Visualize each garment as you receive it and choose whether to put it on. As you do this, you may discover whom you are here to serve and what your offering might be. When you're ready, enter the sacred place to perform your worship. The guide may lead you to the shrine, or you may come to the innermost holy space on your own. You can bow if it feels right for you, or take some other posture that indicates your reverence. Perform the ritual actions that you have come here to perform. Make your offering. What happens? Does something appear? Is there fire to consume your offering? Is there peaceful silence? See what comes. What you see and hear will tell you something about how spiritual practice can unfold and grow. You hear a prayer. It can be in your voice or the voice of the guide that meets you. My temple is a holy place to be entered with intention. When you are ready to be born, I will prepare the way for you. You will awake as from a dream. I am your mirror. I am your water bearer. I will bring you home. I can dip my hand into a well, stir my reflection, and open the way. I am the guardian of the entrance. I am a sentinel at my post. I see into the hearts and souls of all who pass through my gates. When you complete your ritual, take time, anoint yourself with the fragrant oil that is there. Allow yourself to rest in this moment worthy of witness. Perform any rituals of farewell. You can return past the place you washed to the original place where you dressed in your garments and slowly take them off one by one, except for the last one. Keep one garment for yourself, one that means something special to you, that feels right to you. Know that as you carry this garment with you, you carry your work as Shrinekeeper. The invitation to return to this place when it's time. As you're ready, watch yourself leave the area of the shrine and return back to your waking self in your body. Notice your breath. Notice your body supported on the earth. And you can slowly blink your eyes open to see the space around you. Some gentle movements in your hands and feet. Take the time that you need, supported by the earth, to find your way up to a seat. When we go to the shrine of the heart of our yoga practice, of our magic practice, we come back changed. So just take a moment to feel if there's anything new, the tiniest little sprout, the tiniest bit of magic or spaciousness or curiosity or discomfort that has arrived from this journey. And give yourself the affirmation, if you can, that you welcome in this change, that you hold Shiva's hand as you dance through the ring of fire, releasing what you no longer need. Maybe not yet sure where you're headed, but curious and open to moving through. Take the time that you need to rest in this inquiry, to rest in this place of both being invited in and being the one that invites. It's such a gift to be with you. It's such a gift to explore this energy of portals, of doorways, of sacred invitations. Thank you so much for your presence. This space is made holy because we arrive and we place our little prayers in together. So thank you for co-creating it with me. Next week, we'll keep working with the Shrinekeeper and we'll make our own little altars to practice with. So if you want to bring like maybe 5 items, like they can be really little things, they can be found things around your house. We'll play with that next week. Okay, y'all. It's such a gift to be with you. Thank you so much. I hope you have the sweetest week, and I'll see you really soon. Thanks, friends.